Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. As you log on this evening, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from. We'll get this call started in just a minute. Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Tasha M. Dyer, the Trade Whisperer, and I want to welcome each and every last one of you all to BYOB Market Talks. So as you log into the line this evening, just make sure you drop it in the chat where you're calling in from, along with those affirmations, guys. Drop it in the chat where you're calling in from, along with those affirmations. And also make sure that if you are streaming, if you are with us, you're on any social media, we're streaming, not if you're streaming, we're streaming. So you want to go share, share, share. BYOB Movement Worldwide is our page, BYOB Movement Worldwide. And you want to make sure that you share, share, share. We're talking about 2 million families, 2 million strong. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it begins. This is where it starts. I promise you, economic empowerment is what our focus is. Economic empowerment is what we do. So let's see, who do we have on the line this evening? Let me see. I see Jacksonville. Good evening, Toledo. Good evening, Toledo. Good evening, Jacksonville. Good evening, Milwaukee. Good evening, Miramar, Florida. Milwaukee. Good evening, Columbus, Ohio. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the BYOB family. Yes, welcome our new BYOBer. Good evening, Columbus. Essex, UK, Jacksonville, good evening, Chattanooga. So Jacksonville, you all show up in the evening, Milwaukee in the UK in the morning, but I have UK on this call tonight. So I'm just talking about where we're represented from. Good evening, Milwaukee. Good evening, good evening. Guys, continue to drop it in the chat where you're calling in from with those affirmations. You want to do that. Now, as you log on, come on, Atlanta. There we go. As we log in. Now, I am an educated BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades in profit. I am 777, right? 777. 777 means that you have simply turned the market into your personal ATM. Good evening, Jacksonville. I see Orlando, Baltimore. Good evening, good evening. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Fort Mitchell, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time here with us this evening, let me get a 111 in the chat. If you are still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222 in the chat, right? Let me get a 222. If you cashed out today, let me get a 777 in the chat. Yes, I said a 777 in the chat. And if you are compounding, you're compounding, let me get an 888. Let me get an 888. Awesome. I see you you're not even going to wait for it. You're like, look, 6 and 6. I'm doing 6 figures in 6 months. You know what? Don't worry about it. Drop it in the chat. Own it, claim it, walk in it. That's what we want to do. And so welcome for all of you all that are new to this call. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, tonight, guys, I'm going to do something just a little bit different as we get started. Right? I'm going to do something just a little bit different because tonight is Thursday. And tonight is the night that we do our advanced training. We dive into the tools and we have some analysis. I promise I still have you covered. We'll do that too, right? But I want you to understand how this call schedule works, and I'm definitely going to do something a little different because we have some individuals on the call. Let me officially welcome you. So Monday through Thursday, mark your calendar, show up, because this is how you're going to get those 6 figures. Monday through Thursday at 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are live in the market. What you learn on this call this evening and our basics call on Tuesday, we are implementing what we educated you on. You want to understand how to implement so you can begin that journey with us. You want to make sure you show up to this call, the morning calls as well, because we just take our time and we walk you through the trade analysis and how to understand the charts. What I can promise you is it is going to collapse your time frames to being an educated trader. That's what it's going to do. And then on Tuesday nights is our basics, all right? That's at 9 p.m., that's Market Talks. And tonight is our advance. And both of those calls are followed by a talk with the finance doctor. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'm gonna do something just a little bit different because you always know we're talking about economic empowerment. Everything that we can do to ensure that you are put on the other side, to ensure that you are set up for success, that's what we do. This movement began with the vision, and the vision of this movement is always evolving, it's always expanding, and we're always dreaming. But I have to turn this call over to, yes, someone I have a tremendous amount of respect for, right? You know him, you've heard his name, you've seen him. It is our visionary, 2 million strong. Well, we started with 1, duplicated to 2, and now the focus is 2 million. And the point is he has a background in investment banking, right? Real estate investment. He has a background as a successful business coach and mentor. He's been helping people all around the world, a published author, the spokesperson of our favorite tool, the Vibrata, that's heard in over 120 countries right around the globe, changing lives. And so when we talk about this is the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind, well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, we mean it, because his focus is always on ensuring that you are economically impacted, that you have your financial blinders removed, and that we are going to always be looking to put you in a winning position and remove those financial blinders and those financial woes. So let me go ahead and turn this call over to none other than our visionary of the BYOB movement, Mr. Gerald D. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can, and this call is officially yours.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dyer, the Trade Whisperer, for your diligence and your faithfulness to ensuring that our business partners are equally inspired, equally empowered. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you that are with us this evening, those of you who have caught the vision of your own personal economic empowerment, your own personal financial liberty, you taking responsibility and ownership of your own personal financial narrative, you taking responsibility and knowing that you now are the creator of your own economic story. And I just want to say thank you as you have allowed us to come into your lives and understand this. We truly believe as a leadership team that you've led well as a leader when you're no longer the focal point of every conversation and every meeting. And we simply take that premise from my favorite inspiration, my favorite book, the Bible. And Jesus says that the greatest amongst you is a servant. So we've made a commitment that no one will outserve us. And that's the heartbeat of why we do what we do and how we do what we do. And I just want to kind of help you understand tonight is very historic. And I want to remind for those of you, as if you had the opportunity to listen to our broadcast this past Tuesday, we talked about persistence, right? And understanding, and we came out of Galatians chapter 6, verse 7 through 9. And at the end of that particular verse of scripture, verse 9 says, in due season, you shall reap if you faint not. And I've been fortunate enough to surround myself around some great minds, great hearts, and understanding this. Leadership is simply about understanding that everyone is equally important, but we may have different functionalities. And as Paul would say, there are many members, but it's one body. And in order for the body to operate in its best and purest form, every joint must supply. So that's when our rally cry, when we say 2 million strong. But I want to just kind of help you understand, for those of you who are new, who've been with us from the very beginning, I want you to ask yourself this question. This is very important because I want you to appreciate the power of your personal yes and how your yes can have an impact and have a vibration from this point forward. Ask yourself the question, on the 11th of January, 2018 at 7:30 p.m., what were you doing? What were you doing? What were you doing? And the reason why I pose that question to you is because God says he's the author and the finisher of your faith. So no matter where you are right now, there's someone dependent upon you to stay the course, embrace the process, because all of us go through our own personal crucifixions. But on the other side of your personal crucifixion, there is a resurrection, and the ears and the hearts that will see you on the other side of your resurrection is very important, because that's what happened when we launched this initiative on the 11th of January, 2018. Some of you may have been present, but many of you were not. And this is really about your understanding of what God has called you to for such a time as this, to be the grand liberator of your family, your heritage, being able to reverse the misinformation when it comes to you and I creating wealth and leaving a true legacy from generations and generations to come. So I celebrate with each and every one of you, because when we launched this initiative, it had you in mind. And God had you in mind to be able to connect with this movement, the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. And then, as Ms. Dyer said, I was able to connect with her, Dr. Bythewood, and we sought out on this journey to be the forerunners. And now we're positioning ourselves with our next generation of educators to pass the torch. But the benefit for each and every one of you, and when we do something, we always do it with the minds and the hearts of you in mind, to create value and understanding that we have an amazing vehicle through the I Am Academy platform, but yet at the same time, as a collective conscious, as an energy, as a synergistic blend of understanding and operating in excellence, we're always forward thinking. How can we bring additional value to make you have a desire to want to make sure you expose people to this information? We're doing everything in our capability and our possibilities to make sure that you understand that this movement is really about you. It's not about the persons who you see on this platform, but the hearts and the minds and the ears that are dependent upon you to make sure that you share this information benevolently. So we want to do everything possible to make sure that you find so much value in being connected to this movement, being able to cash out, appreciating the BYOB cash out strategy, being able to appreciate the likes of our pit master, Miss Tanya Anderson, our HFX sniper, Miss Bonita Brantley, our NEC's precisionist, Mr. Antoine Sims, our personal development coach, the average baker, Pastor Joseph Washington. We have the likes of Bishop Harold Rollison, our Hidden in Plain Sight broadcast. And we're talking about Bishop Roosevelt Simmons, our faith and finance industry leader, Chirtana Perry, our crypto igniter. So ladies and gentlemen, what am I saying? This is really a collective group of individuals who come together with one purpose and one cause, and that's to eradicate poverty in the lives and the hearts and the minds of the people that we're connected to. And we utilize the I Am Academy platform to facilitate that. But Be Your Own Bank movement, it's a movement, it's a culture, it's a crusade, and 2 million strong worldwide is our rally cry. And tonight, my desire is to elicit something on the inside of your heart that will pull you through the next level and the next thing. We decreed and began at the beginning of the year that this is the year of transformation, and our business model began to transform the lives of people. And then we said, you know what? Our responsibility is to equip you with the right information, to expand your mind, to empower you, then to exit so that you can reproduce after your own kind. But we said, you know what? We're going to believe God. We're going to write the vision and make it plain so that when you see it, you can easily run with it and be equally and even more effective as we are. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I celebrate on your behalf what God has been able to do as far as the brand of BYOB brand. Ladies and gentlemen, be your own bank has always been our rally cry. And as Dr. Byford would say, we're not anti-institution, we're just pro your household. But once again, God has shown us favor. And we make no apologies for giving God all the glory and all the credit, because without him, this movement would not be in existence. And we're thankful and grateful that God is so fit to give us favor in the marketplace as a movement. So it is with great honor and pleasure that we get an opportunity to announce to you tonight that the Be Your Own Bank movement, as we've decreed and declared that the year of 2022 is a year of elevation, operating in excellence. So I pray that it brings you great joy to know that as a movement that you're a part of, that you're going to be carrying the next torch. You're going to be carrying the next baton. It's now time for you to run your leg of the race. So God has so favored us, ladies and gentlemen, that he's made it possible for a group of individuals whose purpose and heart is to serve. And God has given us additional credibility in the marketplace that you're going to be able to, for those individuals who you've for whatever reason, you've been leery of exposing them to the information and sharing what we do and how we do it. I believe with what we're about to announce to you tonight is going to give you an equal desire for you to want to know that people need to be a part of this movement, to learn this skill set, to sit at the feet of these amazing educators that I've just shared with you. But we're going to purposely make sure we put the tools in your hand to do that. So what am I saying? So if you're excited about anything that I've shared thus far, I need you to drop a 777 in the chat. If you're excited about anything that I've said about your future, what you've been called to, because wealth is your heritage. Wealth is your birthright. You are a billionaire. You are the signal. You are a master trader. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If you're excited about what you believe or hear it for you, remember, this is a personal conversation. I'm just the voice, but this is all about you, your purpose, destiny for such a time as this, because your last name is at stake. Your community is at stake. Your personal household is at stake. Your place of fellowship is at stake. It is now time for us to be even more vocal about this movement. So I don't want to belabor the point any much longer, but I'm so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been behind the scenes in the lab working on this facilitation of this for the last 8 months. And now we can officially begin to share with our family what God has done for us. And with that being said, God has now put us in a position, the Be Your Own Bank movement will be able to today, and Ms. Dyer is going to walk you through how to accomplish this. So I want you to celebrate yourself and celebrate with us that we will now be in a position to have our logo on our official prepaid MasterCard, which you'll be able to utilize, download, get your payroll checks, deposits. You're going to be able to receive cashback rewards. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a huge arrangement, and the things that we've been able to do behind the scenes, that your logo, our logo, will now appear on a MasterCard. So if anyone is excited about that, if you understand the magnitude of the scrutiny that is required, so for anyone who may think that, be leery of the industry, but what we're doing behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, celebrate yourself to know that we have been behind the veil and we've gone through the necessary scrutiny to now to be able to brand our movement with a MasterCard prepaid card. So if anybody's excited about, and remember, I started out asking you the question, where were you January 11, 2018. And this is the amazing thing about how God does something. When God gives a vision, he makes the provision, and it's his responsibility. So we're going to continue to be great stewards over this. So I pray that you understand once again that this is really all about you. Out of all the 330 million people that's in the United States and then worldwide, God was so fit to put you in a position where you are now able to excavate the land, plant a seed, nurture it, be coached and mentored by some of the greatest minds, and you get the benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, the best is yet to come. We told you the year 2021 is a year of transformation, but I decree it and declare it right now that elevation is in your house. Elevation is in your house. So with that being said, once again, continually keep us in prayer that God will continually use us to eradicate poverty. And now the torch is being passed to you, and it would be derelict in all of our duties if we did not make sure that the people that are in our sphere of influences, our personal households, our places of fellowship, because if things are going to change, it's going to be changed because you have caught the vision. So I pray that you catch this vision, 2 million strong, and that's just the beginning. So I release it. We trust God for the increase. And I will turn this call back over to the trade whisperer itself. And once again, I want to publicly thank God for our second generation educators. Without you, this movement would not be in existence. Thank you for God gracing and downloading this amazing strategy to the trade whisperer itself, who's diligent to make sure that she serves you. And I just realized we used to say that we do 40 plus calls per month, but we stand corrected. Ladies and gentlemen, we do 68 calls per month, 68 calls per month to make sure that you have an opportunity to win and win on your terms. So with that being said, celebrate with me, celebrate yourself, and understand that 2022 is for you. Back to you, Ms. Dyer.
Ladies and gentlemen, phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. Now let's talk about how that benefits you. I mean, do you understand the vision? Do you understand the way forward? Do you understand what he just stated to you all, right? You're in a position now where you can have a prepaid card. You can have a card that is in your hands. You can have a card that represents the movement, that brings that credibility to what you're doing. And so this is going to go live in December. But let's talk about how much greater it is for you, because there is no fee for this card. There are no setup fees. There is no minimum balance. It is no monthly fees, right? You can deposit, you can attach your bank card to this, and you get cash back. Now, see, this is something you can earn rewards. This is something that you're used to with a credit card, where credit cards, when you shop at certain merchants, where they're able to give you rewards, right? Earn money back. But you see, merchants want you to use these cards. And so they offer you rewards. So you can attach your card to it. So it's when I swipe my USAA card, there are no rewards to that. Because if I'm not using a credit card, there are no rewards. And so I want you to understand the magnitude of what's happening right here. You see, so it's nothing to you, but it's all benefit. Nothing out of your pocket, but it's all benefit to you. And then the credibility, you know, yes, MasterCard, not Visa, that's major. Absolutely, absolutely. You caught that? Absolutely. And I'm just, ladies and gentlemen, this is just phenomenal, because you all, this is for you. That is what this is. This is for you. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually change my screen share, and I'm gonna walk you through, because you can definitely get on a wait list right now. All right. You can get on a wait list right now. So if you notice, there probably was a change to our website, BYOB Movement Worldwide, but we also have another website. and that's BYOB, well, BYOB Movement LLC and BYOB Movement Worldwide. There will be a link set up from our other site, our default site, that will able to link you to this. But if you're here right now, you can go ahead and pull this up, BYOB Movement Worldwide. And what you want to do is you want to click this tab that says debit card sign up, all right? So you already did it, you on the wait list already? So you want to click this card that says debit card sign up. And when you click this debit card sign up, what you're going to see is coming soon. And so what's ultimately going to happen, the same flyer that you just saw, right? You're going to just come here and you just put your name and email in. And then so you'll get email updates and notifications when it's time for this card to come through. So is this something to get it? And I'm like, I love it because you're like, it's already done. I'm on the wait list. It's already happened. I'm there, right? And so I want to salute you. I want to salute you. I want to salute you, right? I definitely want to make sure, I want to salute you all for taking advantage, because this is for you. And I'm telling you, the word for 2022 is elevate. So just trust me, we're not done. We're not done. This is just the beginning. You being able to, in 2021, you went from, let me back up a little bit more. You went in 2020 where we got our corrective lenses, right? Because everybody wanted 2020 vision. So we received our corrective lenses. And then we spent this year transforming. And some of you all, a lot of you all began to understand the power of compounding. And many of you all are walking in six figures in 6 months. So just imagine, because make sure you get this card, because there is more to come. Hear me clearly. There is more to come with this. There is more to come. So you want to make sure you begin using this card. And then in 2022, what's going to happen is you are ultimately going to elevate, because there is so much more in the pipeline, so much more. We live in a lab, because this is about empowerment. That's what this is all about. It's about empowerment. It's about empowering you all. It's about empowering. So now, whenever, you're just able to be in a position to where, you know what? I'm a part of a movement. I'm a part of a movement. You said, yes, membership does have its privileges. It really does, because you are a part of a movement. And so I just want to take you back up here really quickly, right? BYOB.
Ms. Dyer, real quick. I want you to know the beautiful part about this card is available for any and everyone, your family members, Christmas presents, things of that nature. So they'll have the same opportunity to be able to take advantage of this card as well. And Ms. Dyer, just also know this. Not only will you be able to download, connect this card, but also too, you're going to be able to utilize this card for those of you who are aficionados with Google Pay, Apple Pay, and things of that nature. So when I say a full service card, that's what we've just put as an additional tool in a value creation for those of you who want to expose to this information. So I just wanted to add that.
Oh yes. It's so much more. So no matter what, a virtual card. So I was getting there, but thank you. Virtual card, physical card, the digital card, it's all available for you. And that's the beauty behind it. And so as I stated, I see some of you all go ahead and get on that wait list. Once again, you see that website. Oh, you put your family on too. BYOB Movement Worldwide. BYOB Movement Worldwide. And so if you're excited, right? If you're excited, let me get a 555 in the chat, right? Let me get a 555 in the chat. Because guess what? You were absolutely correct when you said membership has its privileges, right? Membership does have its privileges. And you are a part of the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. You are a part of the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. And that is ultimately what you are. This is exactly, yes, the largest. And so I just want to help prepare each and every last one of you all for this, right? I want to make sure that we're ready, right? Because I'm just excited. I'm just, you know, I'm trying to stay professional on here. You say I'm gonna have you speaking in BYOB tongues. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so let me go ahead because I want to make sure as we get started here this evening, look, as we get started, if we're not already, I want to make sure that you all understand the power of what is transpiring right now. Because now you understand, oh, see, I'm gonna just say, you say crypto next, I'm gonna just say, you know what, stay tuned, because there's so much you're gonna be able to do with this card, right? There is so much. That's why I'm telling you to get it now, get it now, get it now. You want to make sure that you have rewards back for Christmas. You want to make sure that you are able to take advantage. So you want to make sure, because I know you're going Christmas shopping. And so when we say coming soon, we mean very soon. We mean like around the corner soon, right? And so I just want you all to make sure that you understand that this is going to be life-changing. So make sure you get on that wait list, because we will be sending out email information. We'll be sending out updates. We'll be sending out information as things roll out, you know, different types of merchants, you know, just whatever is available that comes through. You want to be on that. You want to be on that list so you can make sure that you do receive those updates. So make sure you get on that wait list. Now, we are 2 days away. We are 2 days away. We are 2 days away from the last event of the year, right? The last events of the year. And I want you to understand, you want to make sure that you are in the space. You want to make sure that you're in the place. You want to make sure that you show up with someone, because at these events, right? At these events, you have our pit master, Miss Tanya Anderson. You hear from her on Tuesday nights. You hear from her on Tuesday nights, right? And so you want to make sure that you show up, because you get to work with her live and in person. And then you have the likes of a Dr. Derek Kenner. Now, Dr. Kenner was institutional investor / owner. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and yet he's here telling you that you need to be your own bank. And then, of course, we have Kathy Scott, a professional of professionals. And yet she's here also, very successful. She's done everything society tells us to do to be successful. And she's walking in that excellence. She is walking in that. But yet she's here telling you that BYOB is the way. You have Pastor Hibbler, you know, very strong and powerful woman. And yet she's here telling you that you need to BYOB, that BYOB is the way. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll also, myself and the visionary, we're going to be in Sumter, Mississippi. All right. Now, Memphis, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, all of the surrounding areas, you want to make sure that you're in a space. You want to make sure that you're in a place, because also we're going to be there with the phenomenal, someone else who's very professional, someone who has definitely walked in excellence, someone who is, you know, who has done phenomenal in the corporate world. And yet she's here also. See, and I'm trying to show you this because I want you to understand, these individuals, like ourselves, we've done what society has said and achieved a certain level of success. But yet we understand that that does not bring wealth into your household. And so yet she's here as well, letting you know that you need to BYOB, that BYOB is the way. And we have the likes of a Vernon Richard, who is also a veteran who is also saying, you know what? It's time to make a change. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make sure you're in a place. I want to make sure you are in position. Now, also, right? Also, I want to share something else with you. If I have it here, it is right here. Let's make sure we have it up. Oh, so, and you know what? Victoria Turner. Let me make sure, because I think I said Trade Queen, but I want you to understand that that's Victoria Turner, you know, just very, very successful. So the Trade Queen, I just want to make sure, and I'm sitting here trying to get this other share up. So my apologies. So now I'm telling you, very phenomenal, very powerful woman. And I'm definitely looking forward to what's about to transition and what's actually about to happen when we get into Memphis area this weekend. Some lives are going to be changed. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, this is definitely a woman that you want to connect with. And then what we're doing on behalf of BYOB, what we're going to do on behalf of BYOB, right? It is a BYOB holiday, a BYOB holiday. So happy holidays from BYOB. You need to take this. You need to share this. You need to spread this. You need to let everybody know what we're doing is you're going to receive $500 in hotel savings dollars when you get enrolled through the end of this year, right? When you get enrolled through the end of this year, anyone who gets enrolled with the elite package, let me be clear, with the elite package, you are also going to be able to take advantage of this voucher. All right. And so this is a direct enrollment with the BYOB movement. All right. You must be attached and be a part of the BYOB movement. Once again, membership has its privileges. I do want to make sure I make that clear. All right. So elite package and directly connected to the BYOB movement. So basically your enrollment is paying for itself. So you get to enroll, you learn, you profit, and you relax. You enroll, you learn, you profit, and you relax. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I also, one more, drum roll, please. I want to make sure that you all are aware that you want to save the date because we are closing out November very strong. I want to make sure you save the date because our Hidden in Plain Sight broadcast, we actually have two of our phenomenal educators that are going to be on the broadcast. Now, this broadcast, we're talking about 6 figures in 6 months. You know why you all keep dropping the 6 and 6? 6 figures in 6 months, okay? 6 figures in 6 months. And we have educators that compound. And so you're going to be hearing from two of our phenomenal educators, Ms. Tanya Anderson and Ms. Tritana Perry, and they are definitely compounding and they're having impact and their people's lives are being changed through the education and them paying it forward. And so you want to make sure you invite, you want to make sure you have guests on, you want to make sure because it's going to be a very, very powerful broadcast. So ladies and gentlemen, can we get excited tonight? Now, do you know why I've been excited all week? You know why I've been like so excited where this energy is coming from? Because I already know what's going to happen. I already know what's transpiring. I already know the lives that are being changed, and those are yours. And so this is what we do this for. We're not here for ourselves. We're not here to do this for us. We're not here for that because we could just stay home. We're here for you. We're here to make sure that you all understand that you have the power to be your own bank. You have the power to walk in excellence. You have the power to be just be excellent and walk in wealth. You have that power. That is what you have. And so that's why we're here. That's what it means to catch the vision when lives are being changed. And just think about movements. Think about things that's happened. Think about the past. Think about any time you've heard a movement and the shift that's happening. And what you're seeing is a shift. You're seeing families being changed. You're seeing communities being changed. You're seeing people learning a skill set. What happens when you have profit, when you have money, what happens is your conversations change. What happens is you realize you can have dreams, goals, and desires again. That is actually what transpires and what happens. So stick with us, stay with us, plug in, tune in, and understand when I tell you that this card is just the beginning, when I tell you that we have a ways to go from here, I promise you, this is definitely a movement. This is definitely where you want to be. All right. So are you ready to do some training? Can we get about 20 minutes of some training? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are we going to do some training, right? We're going to do a little bit of training. So we're ready. Because it's just so exciting when we can close the year out strong, when we can close the year out empowered, when we can close the year out impacting individuals. It's just so strong. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, let's dive in. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. So I'm going to do a little moderated version of advanced training. And so what we'll do is we'll just pull one trigger tonight. All right. I'll pull this trigger and we'll walk through the analysis of this. Okay. That's what we'll do. We'll walk through the analysis of this. So, cause I already know I have my seatbelt on, I'm buckled up, I'm ready, because I already know the finance doctor is going to have a phenomenal after the information, the call we just had, and then we're going to roll over into the finance doctor. I already know that it is this evening, the way we closing out this week, it just gets better and better and better and better. So let's give you a little trade in between, right? Let's put a little trade in between. So what we're looking at, and I'm actually, let me put this on. And you know what I'm gonna do? For those of you all, let me help you. Because some of you all like it, and I'm gonna do this for you all this evening. So I'm gonna turn the dark mode off. I don't think you can see where I'm clicking a little box. I don't know how Miss Anderson pulls hers up and mine does never, it never shows. All right. So when you click BYOB cash out right here by strategy, when you pull it up, all right, when you pull it up, it'll say hide your chart details. You can hide them or cut them on. And that's where this little box right here comes where you can pull this or not. Then it also has a box in there that says dark mode on or off, right? Dark mode on or off. So what I did is I just cut it off. Now I prefer the dark mode. Yes, trust me, I do. But I also want to make sure that we're able to speak and everybody is able to receive, because some of you all prefer the lighter, the white background, right? Some of you all prefer that. And so for those of you all that prefer the white background, it's easier on some people's eyes or just able to see it. I know when we're in a presentation mode, like when we're do our expos, our tours, this is better for the ambiance in the room. So I want to make sure that we all have an opportunity to where we can really, like I say, kind of just look at this, because we want to make sure everybody can see these. So tonight, because it's a moderated version, I'm gonna use this background. So now I'm gonna go ahead and click GBP USD, right? That's our trigger. And this trigger happened 15 minutes ago. So for those of you all who are new to the call, once again, I kind of mentioned it in the beginning, but I want to make sure you all understand how these calls work. What we do on these calls, right, is this is our advanced call. Now, what happens on Tuesday nights is our basic. And so the BYOB cash out strategy, you do have to attend the basics to really get an understanding. And then what we do is in the morning. So on this call, I show you how to use the tools, how to go a lot deeper, how to dive in a lot deeper into the market, how to begin to have that relationship with the market, which ultimately is where the profit comes from, right? That's what I help you do. And so with that being said, what we're doing is just making sure that you all understand that. Now you have to identify where you are. Are you here for the first time? Are you still learning to cash out? What is your story? Okay. What is your scenario? Because that's how you apply the information. The information you see on this call, you show up to this call because this call does help you collapse those timeframes. However, I want to make sure that you're not trying to do the advanced before you learn the basics, okay? So you want to be in the environment of the advanced because it's going to help you see it with clarity. But you don't want to attempt to do the advanced until you begin to build your skill set, okay? But it's going to also help you understand the market. Now, the reason for this being open is I'm going to just go ahead and show you right here that we have two prices, okay? You have two prices. Now, one price is my Hikinashi price, and the other price, right? The other price is my real price. Now, some of us know how to look at this and know what the difference is, okay? Some of you all need to look at this to actually see which one is the real price. This is the real price. This is my real price that's happening, okay? This is very important if I'm trading HFX. It's actually important, period. But you want to make sure, especially with HFX, right? You want to make sure that you're looking and you understand what the real price is. Now, I'm gonna close that for a moment because we don't need it right now. Now, I want you to know, well, no matter what, I want you to see this, that no matter what time frame I'm on, okay, each one of these represent a different time frame. My time frames are how often I get my candles, okay? How often is a candle formed? No matter what time frame that I am on, right? No matter where I'm at, the price is the same. So there is no such thing as trading on the 5 minute, trading on the hour. We say it, I know we say it, but I want you to not take it literally is what I'm saying. Because, oh, I'm trading on the hour, I'm trading on the 15, just do not take it literally. Because all this means is there was a change. All this means is that there was a shift in the view. You're changing the view, right? Every time frame changes the view that you see this in. That's all it does. That's what it does, right? Each one changes the view. So now, right? Now what you're looking at is if I'm on a 4 hour, my hour and my 4 hour, that's what gives my market direction. And so we'll look at that as a point of clarity tonight because of some of the conversations that we had this morning. My mid time frames is where we analyze. My lower time frames, right? My lower time frames is actually where we have all of our activity, right? That's where we have all of our activity. Okay. And so you want to make sure that you're understanding that, right? You want to make sure that you're understanding that. So now we got a trigger on a 5 minute. So let me walk you through on first, let's start here on my 15. And I'm actually walk you through what the BYOB cash out strategy is. Now, what we use is 3 simple indicators, okay? 3 simple indicators, okay? Now, it is my stochastic, it is my Hikinashi candles, and it is my PSAR. Now, this is my stochastic. These are my Hikinashi candles, right? These are my Hikinashi candles, which are trend candles. And then, of course, these are my dots, which are my PSAR, right? That is what this is. Now, what am I looking for? My stochastic is my leading indicator, all right? It is my leading indicator. And of course, with this being my leading indicator, okay, my leading indicator, what you need is that blue line cross over the red in an upward momentum, right? That's what I'm looking for. I need that to be that blue line cross over the red and an upward momentum, okay? Now, what else I'm looking for is that green candle with a flat bottom and that PSAR flip to the bottom, all right? So, right, so let's look. My leading indicator, it starts right here, right? This is where it actually begins. So I'm gonna put this here, okay? I'm gonna put it here because that's where we got that crossover and cross up. That's where that began. Now you notice that nothing in here was ready. This is what we mean by leading. There should be no expectation. Most of the time, it's not going to be where I can dive in here and just look, right? It's just not gonna be there. Where as soon as this crosses over, then I'm gonna have a trade. You notice that we're all the way up here around the 60 by the time the trade executed, right? And so I definitely want you to see that. And then we ended up with a green candle with a flat bottom and a PSAR flip to the bottom, okay? So that's the BYOB cash out. Now you want to use time frame confluence, okay? Time frame confluence. And so with time frame confluence, that means I go to my hour. Now, when I come to my hour, it needs to be giving me indication that is moving into a buy, okay? It needs to be giving me some sort of indication that is in a buy. Now, I'm not looking for a complete setup. Let me be clear, okay? Because you guys come back and ask me, well, do I need a PSAR to flip on an hour? No, you don't. I'm not waiting for the trade. You notice when this PSAR flipped, I was in a whole nother hour candle. So you would have had to wait. All right, you would have had to wait. And then, of course, you drop down. When I drop down, I come here and this needs to still be buying. So we have a good setup, and that's when you go in and get your 10 pips and cash out. Now, the reason why it's abbreviated because we only have a few minutes, but what I wanted to point out to you all, right? what I wanted you all to see is that as this moves, right, that blue line cross over the red in an upward momentum. I have a trigger. Look, I just had another trigger. Oh, we have a trigger for a sale and a trigger for a sale. So actually, let's look at a live trade. Let's see what's going on in the market. So here, let's put this call price on here. Okay, let's put it on here. Let's thicken this up a little bit so you guys can see it. Now let's put this one on here, GBP USD. Okay, let's put this coordinate on here. We'll look at a live trade real quick. All right, so this is where this triggered at about 23 minutes ago. This is where this triggered for a sale on the 5 minute. We also triggered on the 15, right? Let's put this one on here. Guys, and if you have questions, comments, right, you can ask that too at the same time. 34882. Let's look at both of those, right? So very close within each other. They both trigger for a sale. Now, understand that it should be in a correction when that trigger happens. So let me zoom in just a little bit. We're going to zoom in. This is the lines where it took place, right? Where my triggers happen. You guys with me, right? You with me? Yes, no, maybe so. You with me? Look, I just turned, okay, because I'm like, I just turned the call over to the finance doctor. You know me. All right. So this is where, right? This is where that happens. So let me go up to my hour, okay? And when I look at my hour, my confluence is in a sale. When I look at my 30 minute from my 5 minute, my confluence is in a sale. Now, I want to help you right now because when the market is in a beautiful trendy markets, right? If I look at one of the other currencies we have been following, which is my AUD USD, right? Beautiful trendy market until this point, but it was beautiful trend and a beautiful trend, right? And so it's very easy at that point to get my blue line cross over the red, my 10 pips cash out, right? It's real easy. Confluence is there. If it's not there, wait about 30 minutes and it's there. Can we all agree on that? How easy was this to trade when we identified it from the different tools? How easy was this to trade until we got here? How easy was this to trade, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, no, maybe so. Was it easy? It wasn't difficult at all. It was not difficult at all, right? Exactly, it was easy to trade. Then you end up with markets like this. Remember we trained on a market not too long ago? Maybe a few weeks ago, we trained on the market, right? It was easy peasy. Yes, it was. And so you can make a decision at this point. You either one, it was very smooth. It's either one, you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to wait for the market to get its mind together. Like, how do you treat your relationship? One, I'm going to just step back and I'm going to wait till you get, like, I tell my kids, get your whole life together, right? That's what I tell my children. When they're doing something, I say, you need to get your whole life together. And so you can either walk away and tell the market, you know what, get your whole life together. I'll be back when you have your whole life together. But you don't want to do that, right? You can, but you don't want to. What you want to do is you want to understand where you are, right? And this is why the advanced part of the training is very important. So when we know the type of market that we're in, okay, when we know that, and we know we're not in that smooth, what did you call it? The easy peasy market. When we're not in the easy, I'm actually start calling the beautiful trendy markets the easy peasy market. When we're not in the easy peasy market, right? Then what you see, you're like, oh yeah. What you see is you start seeing the market structure. So I want to start getting in a point where I squinch my charts up. You have to understand where you are, absolutely. And so what you're seeing, let's come up to my higher time frame, right? Let's come to my higher time frame. So when I come to my higher time frame, okay, when I come to my higher time frame, we have two triggers for a sale. Look at my trigger here and look at my trigger here, right? You see these two triggers. Now, when I'm looking at my triggers, okay, I want you to squinch your charts up and look at it. Now, you do not have to have any sort of understanding of support and resistance lines at this point. Now, you're going to need some understanding, but you see the market is significantly rejecting. It's rejecting, it's rejecting. If I zoom in a little bit, okay? Zoom in a little bit, you can see the market. Look at, you see the market was pushing up, it rejected, it came back, it's rejecting in this area, right? It goes and then it pulls back. It's getting rejected, which means that my buyers are exhausted. I'm exhausting my buyers, right? That's what's happening right now. I'm exhausting my buyers. And if I'm exhausting my buyers, right? If I'm exhausting my buyers, then you can see, look at my stochastic. They're still trying though. You see my stochastic in a buy, right? I'm on my higher time frame. I'm on my 4 hour. So what I'm doing is I'm really looking at what the market is doing right now. All right. You see that I'm in that buy. What's the question? Why doesn't my vibrato have that little page icon? What little page icon? It's gonna be on UTC time. It's defaulted to UTC time, so it's gonna be on UTC time. Now the little page icon, I'm not in im.center. All right. They do look a little different, even though it's the same thing. I am at imlwebanalyzer.com. So for understanding why are there two sites? Well, before they merged all of them into the im.center, because that was created, what was it, last year? So before they merged them all into that one, every tool had its own website. Every tool had its own website. And what they did is they put all the tools together, but the vibrato still has a separate site. That's the only tool that you can still go on its own site. All right. And that's imlwebanalyzer.com. And so that's why that's one. Now I made the background white. It's defaulted to a dark background, but I made it white. All right. So what I'm seeing here, right? What I'm seeing here is a significant amount of rejection and being overbought. But my buyers are still fighting. I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get into the depthness of, the news and what's happening from a fundamental standpoint. Go back and watch the stream from this morning. That'll help you out. But you see, I do have a lot of rejection. And if I come and I look to my left, I also have that rejection, right? It did the same thing there. Now over here, it went through it a little bit. If I look, you see they both kind of went down in the same area. But what you're seeing is this is a heavy rejection area, right? It's a heavy rejection area. And the last time we were here before this was in December of almost a year. So anything over 6 months is very significant. So it's almost been a year since we've been in this area. So just as I'm looking at the market, then my probability goes down that I'm going to break this zone. I haven't been here in a year. The last time it got here, it rejected. I finally broke it. So it's almost like it's a retest, right? Can you see that? Even it would be a big retest, but that's why I said it's kind of like, right? It's a retest. You see that? Now, this is much more than, I understand for those of you all who might be new to the call, because it was a few of you all. So for those of you all that are looking at this for the first time, you're like, oh my gosh, what is she talking about? This is what I meant about stick to blue line, cross over the red and an upward momentum. I want you all to stick to that because we have two triggers for a sale. We have some rejection. The trade is not ready right now. I'm just being very clear. The way the market has been today and the way it's been right now, we really haven't had movement. This is a good example to show you we didn't have a lot of movement. Anybody that traded today was a super scalper. I mean, unless you traded something like Euro USD, it was moving, and you see it's coming back down. But from the currencies I saw 777s on, you all are some beautiful scalpers. That is what you are. You have some very good scalping techniques. And that's okay. It's just all about understanding the type of trader that you are. Now, as I'm looking at this, okay, one thing I definitely want, this will also help you, right? This will also help you because it doesn't lie. So just a little small recap before we transition this call of one of the things that we discussed this morning is I want you guys to take a look, okay? So here, well, actually, I'm gonna come back a little bit more. Let's go to my 4 hour. Actually, I want to be on my 4 hour. So on my 4 hour, all right, on my 4 hour, I started here, right? I started here. This is where that blue line crossed over the red. We had some pullback in here. I can actually, I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna make this one red because that's where the sale started. And then I'm gonna put this one blue. I should make it green, right? But I'll leave it. Let's make it green. So real quick, just trying to help you guys see this. I just want you to see it so you can apply it with these triggers. Now I come over here, okay? I come over here, I'm thinking this up a little bit and this one should be, let's make that one red because this is where that began to happen, right? But even though we're not staying there. So let's look at it real quick. So I started back here, okay? And I want you to look in this zone area. So I'm gonna mark this little zone. Now we know we had some nice little pullback right here. Actually, I'm gonna put another one right here because this technically, let's say that stopped right there, okay? I'm gonna make this yellow because I don't wanna make it yellow, not on that background. Let's make it orange, yeah. So I know I've got a coloring book going on, but let me explain this to you. So here is where my stochastic curved up going in that upward momentum, okay? This is where it stopped on my 4 hour. You with me so far? This is where it stopped. You see my momentum indicator. The only thing I'm looking at right now is my stochastic. That's it. That's all I'm looking at. So now, right, we know we have 2 triggers for a sale. So the only thing I'm looking at is my stochastic. This is a little correction zone. This is where it pulled back. This is where it bumped back. Okay, you see how I'm just looking at the stochastic? That's why I did the colors. You guys, does that make sense so far? Yes, no, maybe so? And the only thing I'm looking at, I have not looked at any candles. I have not looked at any candles. I have not looked at any candles. No candles, no candles. So now what we know is that this is starting to get that curve, which is confirming. So these sales are in alignment with the big picture of the market, right? My sales are in alignment with the big picture of the market because you see where my stochastic, now I don't do it right now, please don't. Because, look at my stochastic. We understand that the market, right, based on the fundamentals right now, we're not taking a trade. So this is a hypothetical, like if it was different conditions, if it was an easy peasy market, right? So as I'm looking here, all right, now when I start looking at my candles, let's come back over here. So you see this live, what it would look like, and then you see this historical. So if I'm looking at this historical piece of this, all of this was in a buy. So when I drop down to my hour, okay, you start seeing I get a different type of momentum in my stochastic. But my overall, now when I drop down to my 15, where you're analyzing from, where you guys start from, okay, where you all are analyzing, Dr. B, if I'll be turning this over just a second. Look at all of the blue line cross over the red and a downward, blue line cross over the red and an upward. Blue line cross over the red and a downward, and on and on and on. But this is what's going to help you all right now during this season. You don't want to counter trend trade. All right. We're talking about preparing you. We're talking about prepping you for the future. We're talking about prepping you for your elevation and your 6 figures in 6 months in the year of 2022, right? Because we're going to kick off this campaign again. We're going to make it happen. And so if we're doing that, we understand the type of market we had today is the type of market that there is. But with your discipline and determination, I'm telling you right now, I need you to kick your discipline up another level. Okay? Do not take trades that you think are going to work out in your favor. Do not take trades that you think, are going to, I can do it. No, I need you to be disciplined. All right? This is where your discipline is going to kick in. When you analyze your trades, blue line cross over the red and an upward or downward momentum, and the type of market that we're in right now, you see this one played out for you, but this one didn't, it would not have. This one would have played out. This one would have played out. These definitely would not have. So one way to increase your accuracy rate, one way to take it up, one way to do it is to, right? One way to do all of that is to make sure that you are trading with the trend of the market. So does that help? I told you it's going to be very condensed tonight. because of where we are. But any questions, comments, or testimonies? Any questions, comments, or testimonies? So that means everybody's good, right? That means everybody's good. And so what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be doing next week, we have a short week because it is Thanksgiving holidays. What we're going to be doing next week is we're going to just make sure we walk through and analyze. We're going to make sure that we walk you through this. So this was just an example, right? This was just to give you some understanding. But next week is Thanksgiving. So that means that it's going to have a lot slower activity. And we know that people are traveling and everything that couldn't travel last year and before. So we're going to dive into the market, be very deliberate in the market, and analyze, so you guys can be very clear and be very profitable. All right. All right. So with that being said, just come ready, 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come ready and come determined. So with that, go ahead and let's make sure you're so welcome. You're so welcome. And I'm glad that you're here as well. So with that, go ahead and make sure that you are registered tonight. Make sure you get registered tonight. Make sure you get registered tonight. You want to make sure you get registered. And what I'm going to do, right? What I'm going to do is I lost my thing. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn this call over to a gentleman that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. This gentleman has a PhD in finance and economics. He is about to bring you your RX for Forex. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be empowered. So while we're transitioning, pull out your phone, pull up your computer, go ahead and get registered, get your card, and I'm going to turn this call over. Get on the wait list so you can get your card, and I'm going to turn this call over to none other than Dr. Craig Bythewood. Dr. Bythewood, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, Miss Tasha M. Dyer. So first of all, Miss Dyer, let me just echo the sentiments of Mr. Rogers, our visionary, that we really appreciate your selflessness. We really appreciate the energy that you put into this movement, how much you obviously care about our ability to be able to learn this material. And I agree with Mrs. Reed when she says that your energy is contagious, and we've caught it. So thank you so much for being who you are, Ms. Dyer. It is very well appreciated within this entire movement. So welcome to a talk with the finance doctor, your RX for Forex. This was a call that was originally designed to be a conversation. And the reason why it was designed to be a conversation is because we understood the fact that there are parts of this financial world that we live in that, Ms. Williams, are you trying to say something? Okay, so there are parts of our society that are dominated by individuals who are financial salespersons, but yet are labeling themselves as financial advisors. Hello, Ms. Smith. And as a result of that, we recognize that this is a conversation that can always be valuable. And the reason why it can always be valuable is because personal finance is the only area of our society where the individuals that share with you the way the product works or the description or definition of the products are the same people that sell you the products. So just like it's extremely important that we took a step today to economically empower ourselves as a brand, it's also important that we take advantage of the fact that we can economically empower ourselves every single time we ask a question in this forum. So welcome to a talk with the finance doctor, where of our 68 calls, this is the only one that's not chart-based. So that means that if you have a question, you need to make sure that you unmute your microphone. So I feel like I should be honest with the group. As I'm watching myself on camera, I look a little labored, and I am. I twisted my ankle tonight at basketball practice. 54 is the new 56. So I just wanted you to know that's right. I'm having a little bit of trouble. Some of you wouldn't have noticed, but I know some of you did. So I just figured I'd say that. I'm fine. It's just a little bit of labor to express myself beyond the pain. And you know how we men are. The pain is probably less about the physical part and more about the emotional part. But that's how we competitive guys are. So welcome to a talk with the finance doctor, your RX for Forex. Now, let me open it up first to see if anybody has any questions, comments, or testimonies. Questions, comments, or testimonies. So I think that tonight is a really appropriate time for us to really have a conversation about this card, the importance of this card, the importance of us taking a first step. Let me say it again. Taking a first step toward us empowering ourselves in the world of financial processing. I spoke on this a couple of weeks ago at a different event about how important it is that we recognize that the financial marketplace is changing. The economic landscape is shifting. It's adjusting. And as we watch it, we have an opportunity to empower ourselves based on the wealth and abundance that we're going to obtain, that we've already obtained based on learning this skill set. So when we announced that we have a prepaid debit card with our brand on it, it's huge. And it's huge for a number of reasons. And the number one reason why it's so huge is because it is literally symbolism of the Be Your Own Bank movement being your own bank. Let me say it again. It is literally symbolic of the Be Your Own Bank movement becoming their own bank. Because you now have the ability to be able to determine what's going to be on this card. You're going to be able to determine the way in which you utilize the card. You're going to be able to basically empower yourself by managing your own funds on your own card. And I just want to make sure that we understand that this is just the beginning. Now, what do you mean it's just the beginning? I remember very early in our move, I said to the group on a call just like this, what if we set the intention to really be our own bank? What if we thought about the fact that there are individuals right now who may be in need of capital for their business, for medical bills, whatever the situation is, college, individuals that have financial needs. And if we are to truly take advantage of this skill set, develop the kind of wealth and abundance that we know we can with this skill set. Okay, let's pause for a second. 6 months for 6 figures. What if you committed for the next 5 years to do that every 6 months? Imagine the type of impact you can have with your resources. So since we live in a world right now where those individuals that need the money the least are the ones who are most likely to get approved for a loan. Yes, I'm going to say it again. We live in a society where the individuals that are in the most need of funds are least likely to get approved for a loan. The individuals that are the least likely to need funds are the ones who are more likely to be approved. So what that means is that we have an opportunity to use our newfound wealth and abundance, to use the servant heart that Mr. Rogers talked about, to recognize that we truly could be our own bank. So what if in the future, and hear me, we're very deliberate about saying I am that I am. Because I am that I am means that you're declaring it in the present. And when you declare it in the present, you're speeding up the timetable. You're collapsing the time frames. Because when you look at it as being the future, then guess what? In your mind, in your vision, it's always the future. But just for the sake of this conversation, what if we realize that at some point in the future, based on our perception right now, what if we were able to provide capital to individuals that needed funding? What if we truly were our own bank? Now think about it. The way the banking system is set up right now, the higher your risk, the higher you're deemed in terms of your inability to pay. So let me reverse that. If you're in a situation where, based on a set of criteria, you're deemed to not be able to pay, that now means that you have to pay a higher interest rate. Now just think about that for a second. Because I have less money, and because I'm showing an inability to pay, I pay more. Isn't that kind of backwards? The Bible says, you shall not charge usury to your neighbor. The Bible says you should not charge usury to your neighbor. Now let's break that down. Usury is a fancy term that means to charge interest. And if we're not supposed to charge usury to our neighbor, we're not judging, because the Bible says judgment shall be the Lord's. But if we're just analyzing the fact, if the word said we shouldn't charge usury to our brother or to our neighbor, doesn't that mean the banking system doesn't look at you as a neighbor? So what if we found a way to reverse that? What if we were able to provide capital to individuals who want to run a business, who want to get their do something important for their family? They want to bail someone out. I mean, there are all kinds of possibilities where good people need money in the short term, right? Just before they join the BYOB movement. So what if we were able to give capital, but do it in a way that's not based on this model of the less you have, the more we charge you. The less you have, the more you charge you. What if we provided capital to individuals? What if we walked in the where two or more shall gather? And what if we decided that we were going to provide capital, and instead of raising the interest rate for those based on the inability to pay, what if we raise their ability to develop their mindset? What if we said the larger the loan, the more personal development you have to do? What if we said the lower your variables are, the more personal development you have to do in order to apply for the loan? What if we said that in order to qualify for the loan, excuse me, what if to qualify for the loan, you had to provide proof of personal development? What if you had to take a test that recognizes your ability to be able to vibrate high, and then every quarter you had to score higher in order to maintain your position in your loan? What if, thank you, Ms. Harvey, what if we were truly our own bank? So all I'm saying is that when I was listening to Mr. Rogers and Ms. Dyer talk about this card, I got goosebumps, because I know that this is just the start of us seeing this brand, seeing this movement, seeing it in a way where we can recognize what we can do, recognize just how limitless we are in the concept of being your own bank. I am that I am. I am my own bank. So I just want everybody to understand that my position right now is one of excitement, because this is just the start of what we can do as a movement. Now, let me pause for a second and ask if there are any questions, comments, or testimonies about what I've said so far. Questions, comments, or testimonies about what I've said so far. Okay, so Trade Whisperer, visionary. I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. I am in a great deal of pain right now. I just don't think I can go any further. So if there are no further questions, this is going to be the first ever shortened edition of the Talk with the Finance Doctor. So hopefully when you guys are writing in your diary about what happened tonight, you'll say he tried. He gave us a good 16 minutes of his time before he checked out. So one more time, any questions, any comments, any testimonies? Thank you, Ms. Smith. I really appreciate that. This is just the beginning.
Yes.
Think about it. This is my idea. Think about all the ideas that are out there. Think about all the rectangles that are listening to this and are going to come up with their own idea. Oh, I'll be fine, Jazz. Trust me. I'll probably be back running tomorrow. But at this moment, you know, it's fresh. You know how it is when it's fresh. Thank you for that, Mr. Patton.
Doctor,
Yes.
Dr. B, you
Yes.
have goose pimples. I have God pimples over what's going on. This
Wow.
is absolutely phenomenal. And I just want you to know that you are definitely our prayers, and all is well, and it shall be manifest in your body. God bless you.
Oh my God, I received that. I received that, Mrs. Reed. I really appreciate that. So before we end this call early and end this wonderful week, just a few minutes early, any other questions, comments, or testimonies? Okay, thank you all for your well wishes, and please forgive me. I know you already do, but this has been a Talk with the Finance Doctor, the shortest version ever, and this will officially end this call. Be your own bank. Okay, everybody, take care.